So, is this place worth it? TTO? We'll let you know at the end of the video. All right, everybody. It is just after noon on Sunday, April 28th. And for those of you guys that have been to TTO before, you know what happens at noon every day. It's the show. We are actually very close to the front gate, and we can actually see the gate from our spot here. And it's just hysterical watching all the RVs line up on the road and pull in and trying to figure out which way you're going to go. Are you going to go left to the older sections? Or are you going to turn right and come to the newer sections? We're going to enjoy the show, and you know, at the end of this video we're going to tell you what we think about it and if we feel that TTO is worth the hype. So whoever said turtles are slow, that little guy right there, he's flying. I don't know where he's going, but he's moving. For those of you guys that may not know, TTO is the Thousand Trails Orlando RV park. So this RV park is like famous around, you know, RV YouTubers and everything else for just being so unique in the way it is. It is absolutely enormous. They've got over 1,000 spots. I think 1,017 is the exact number. And they do things unlike any other RV park that we've been to in over a year and a half of owning our RV and almost a year full-timing. All the spots are first come, first serve. So if you watch any other videos or you watch any other YouTubers, everybody is kind of shown the show. You know, what happens, because at noon every day is when you're allowed to pull in, and they are very strict. Like, RVs will line up along Highway 27, both northbound and southbound, waiting to pull in here. Now, just as a little caveat, we're here at the end of April, so it's not really the prime season. When we checked in last Friday, we got here about 1:30 and had no problems, pulled right in and got an amazing spot. As far as the normal procedure, you have to wait till exactly 12, and then one of the rangers in the golf cart will go out there and wave people in, and then everybody comes in. You stop at the guard shack and you check in, and they give you a map and they tell you where you can and can't go. When we checked in, there was 2 spots that we couldn't go to. One was up in the, if you look at the map, up in the top far right corner. Those are all just 30 amp spots. And I don't know if they said we can't go there because we reserved a 50, but they said that was not for us. And then also down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, those are all full-time residents, I guess, annuals. So that's another area where you can't go. But other than that, the entire place is wide open. If you don't know where you want to go, you can drive around aimlessly, looking at all the spots and try to find one you like. It seems that this park is pretty much separated into 2 distinct sections: the newer sections and then the older sections. The older sections are more rustic, have trees surrounding them. The actual pads are more older asphalt, some is crushed gravel, some dirt.
Definitely more worn.
More worn, yeah.
More narrow.
Yeah.
The streets over there are a lot more narrow than over here. You can definitely tell the new section.
Right.
So we obviously are in the new section.
Yes.
Yeah, just the differences. The new section is, there's not trees.
No.
So you are definitely in direct sun. There are a few spots in the new section though that you can basically see like the water and the trees, so you're closer to them if you'd like to be. Right. Interesting though, because you think everybody wants the new spots, and when we were in the store talking to the lady that worked there, she was saying how she would never be in the new spots. She felt like if she wanted that, her exact words, she'd go back to California. She didn't want to be on the concrete, and she wanted trees around her, and she wanted to feel like she was, you know, in nature. So it's funny because we watch a lot of people come in at noon every day, and a lot of people just come in and they know exactly where they want to go, and they go left every single time.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on your preference.
So the newer section is actually, for all the insiders, there's the new, and then there's the old new section. And you can kind of tell the difference just the way the numbers are painted. And the new section, they're a little bit wider spaces. And it's funny because when you look on the map, they've actually got all of the spots broken down like as if you were going to reserve a spot specifically. They've got it standard 30 amp, standard 50 amp, standard 50 amp. They've got elite, super elite, all these different levels of spots, yet you can pick anything you want. You really can. And once we picked our spot and we got settled looking at the map, we realized that this was a super elite spot. And looking at the ones around us that were just considered elite spots, the only difference is the size of the patio. Our patio actually extends all the way out to the street, and we've actually got the truck parked next to the RV, backed up to the patio, as opposed to some of the other ones where you'd have to park your vehicle, if you have a tow vehicle, park it in front of your RV. But that's really the only difference. All the spots have brand new 50 amp water, sewer. Everything is super clean. In the new sections, yes.
That's not all the spots, for
yes.
sure. Not all the
in
spots.
the new and the old new. I could only imagine what it's like during the prime season, between like November and March, because according to other people, this place is pretty full during those times.
Well, and we've heard different things, that there's a different process then. So
yes.
I don't know. If you know, comment, let us know. Because basically we pulled in and you just went and found what spot you wanted, and then you just had to email it,
log on the app, and
let them know and say what street and what number you picked. And so but we've heard people say, friends of ours, that are like, no, you'll have somebody escort you, or you go down and you get picked up and you get escorted. I don't know. So ours was quite easy. I will tell you, you come in here and you hear all the hoopla around TTO, and it can be very overwhelming because you feel a sense of panic. You feel like you have to get a spot before all the spots are taken. So when we got here, like we said, it was later than the check-in, and I just remember we pulled around and we were in this we were thinking about one spot, and you were like, should we take it? Should we not take it? And I was like, okay, wait, hold on. We don't have any pressure here. So why don't we look a little bit before we feel like pressure to just take a spot? And we're so glad we did, because there ended up being one that we liked better. And I think that everybody that comes here needs to do them, whether that's being in the trees, being in the new, being in the old new. I mean, it's so confusing and it is so large. So when you come in, it can be very overwhelming. I would suggest maybe looking at the map and having an idea of where you want to go, because that's where it kind of starts. You kind of want to know, but it is hard to know when you don't see it, because it's always different looking on a map versus in person.
Watch other YouTubes.
Yeah, you could do that too, because then you'll see what we're talking, or what other channels are talking about with the more narrow roads and the different spots. So it is very easy to get overwhelmed, because it is unlike most RV processes. So you feel like a sense of urgency and panic to get your spot before somebody else does. And that's saying, I told Kevin, that's us doing it without the masses behind us or in front of us. So interesting, very interesting.
Thing about that is they do have it down to a science, because as you travel around the property, every one of the roads is one way. One way, one lane, and all of the spots are actually angled to make it that much easier. So you can kind of see where there's a flow around the sections that makes this whole process easier. It would be interesting to see this in the wintertime. I just don't know if I'd ever really want to.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
So let's move on to the actual park itself.
Okay.
What do we think about TTO? Let's talk about the amenities first.
All right.
So there are laundry rooms pretty much in all the different sections, which is nice. Not everybody's fighting for one laundry room. Same with bathhouses, and they're pretty nice. The laundry room is basic. It's large, but it's not the powered machines. The one thing I will tell you about the laundry, make sure you know the token policy. So everything is a token in there. So you have to make change with either your quarters or your dollars. No app. and each dollar is worth a token. They are $3 each to wash and to dry. I found that they did the laundry fine. They can go up to $4 and $5 if you do like the heavy and different kind of cycles. I feel like they're basic. I don't think they're anything great. I don't think they're anything terrible. They get your laundry done. The dryers, they go, the laundry is about 30 minutes and the dryers are about an hour. We got our laundry done. $3 to me is very reasonable. I wasn't sure what to expect. Because I have found laundry in Florida to be a little bit pricier than a lot of places. So I was okay with that.
Just figure out your dollar amounts and don't go home with too many tokens. Like,
No.
Today's our last day and Larika's planning on laundry, so we're like making sure we have enough singles to exactly get the right number of tokens.
Yeah, as long as you plan it. I mean, I guess if you're planning on coming back, you could save your tokens. It's not the end of the world. But it's really easy also to stick your quarters in the machine and not even see the token, because they have 2 doors in the laundry room we were at, and if you go in the back door, the token machine is all the way on the other end. So just something to think about.
All right, so there's a huge pool area. There's 2 swimming pools, a jacuzzi, and a little kiddie pool, all in the same fenced area.
And that's where the fitness center is as well.
Fitness center, the clubhouse.
It's like right in the middle of everything.
It's like a big,
community center.
Yes. They've got mini putt, golf course. They've got 2 different sets of
horseshoes,
pickleballs.
Oh yeah,
horseshoes,
pickleballs.
And it's all
shuffleboard. Lots of shuffleboard.
Yeah, and it's all right there in the middle. There's also a lake right down one of the side roads that you can actually rent. It's the only thing that you have to pay for. You can rent kayaks and boats and stuff and go out on this little lake, which is kind of cool. There's signs everywhere that says no swimming because there's alligators in the lake.
Yeah, they warn you about the alligators, and then then you try to get in. So,
and if you go out there at 9 o'clock at night, you can definitely hear them, and sometimes you can see the fireworks from Magic Kingdom. We're only 9 miles from Disney World. They were a little low. You could see about half of them at the most, but
but
if you've got
apparently
kids,
you can see them the other way as well. It just depends from Epcot, so it just depends on which one's putting on their fireworks and where they're coming from. And then they have a store, and then a really big, I guess it's an eating area, conference banquet room, I guess, ballroom they call it. I don't know what they call it. And then they have a cafe in there as well, which we did not do. We didn't try anything from the cafe. I do feel like in the prime season, this place is hopping. It reminds me a lot of probably Port A, where there's a million activities, because you look at their boards in the laundry room everywhere, they've got functions going on. They've got poker games. They actually have a little poker room in the back by the game room, which has a nice library and a pool table and all that. But they have a lot going on. You can just tell, bingo and different things. Right now, the time that we're here is we're in the off season, so a lot of it is quiet and they're not doing it. Like you could do volleyball at the pool, sign up. So they definitely have a lot going on, I feel like, in the prime season, which I think is awesome because we love that in Port A.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though we didn't partake in as much, it was cool that option was there.
Yeah. We checked in, April 27th, and we're leaving tomorrow, May 3rd. So we literally are here as the temperature is rising and everything else. So there are plenty of open spaces this time of year if anybody's ever interested in coming out here. I mean, we count 15, 20 different open spaces just in our little, 2-block area.
So, the pros and cons of TTO. The cons for me, the garbage.
Yeah, oh yes.
So, this property is huge, and they have one central area by the community center that you do garbage. And if you pick a spot that is not close to that, you are either walking your garbage a really long way, or you are driving it there. And you see people just going in the roundabout, driving it. To me, that with having this much land, I understand you don't want garbage everywhere, but I also think that they have a ton of land that you could put some sort of trash something, in each section.
Maybe by the laundry rooms. Maybe by the laundry rooms.
Maybe that would be, I don't know. But and then just have somebody collect it. I just feel like that is, wow. For a place this big, it's one garbage. That's personally where I'm coming from. Right. We've been to places, I think Pioneer was pretty large. We're going to compare it to that because it's very similar to it with that community. And you put out your garbage every day between 10 and 11. and the guy would come by, pick it up, and he'd take it over to the big trash cans.
Right.
So some sort of system in play if you don't want to have garbage receptacles everywhere. But that was very shocking to me.
Very. It took us a couple days to figure out the
I
trash.
don't even know where the garbage is. Usually it's listed on the map.
Yeah.
So that was interesting for sure.
You know, at the beginning, I was thinking the con was going to be just the whole procedure getting in here. Not having a plan or anything else, but, and again, we're here this time of year, made it easy. I think if this was, you know, November 1st and we're staying for the winter, it would, like Larica said, it's a little overwhelming, a little stressful. That very well could be a con, but in this time of year, it could be a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird.
That one can go either way depending on the time of year.
Right.
I think another con is pool.
The pool area, yeah.
I think it was nice, and we did spend quite a bit of time down there, and I was trying to imagine it completely like full of people. It would be a lot. They're very large pools. They're very large pools. But like there are a ton of kids, and we love kids.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't care if they're in that pool, but it's like when we were here, most of the kids flocked to the other pool, and then the adults were in this pool. There's no real like routine. It doesn't say this is an adult pool, this is a kid pool. I just think too, when you have a property this large, maybe do smaller pools in the other sections. Now I get it. It's a lot of money. That was probably the only pools when just the old was around, and then they've built on. So I get that. I get that. But as I'm sitting there, and I'm not a germaphobe, but I was thinking, gosh, can you imagine this place hopping with all the people? Like to me, it just was not a huge spot for a campground this big.
Yeah.
It's not a huge con. We went in the pool. We love it. It was great. We had a great time. I love the music by the pool. They were playing the 80s, and we were just, and it's loud, and you just go, and I don't know. I thought it was great. And it was never crowded when we were there.
Oh, gosh, no. And I didn't confirm this, but you could tell the pool was probably heated.
I think so. Yeah. It's quite warm here, but they still need a heated pool because the water, obviously, at night and in the mornings, it's cooler. All right, let's go to the pros.
Pros.
Of TTO.
All right, for me, number one, honestly, it's going to sound funny, is the size of this place. We've been able to walk almost every night, and you can get your walk on here in this place and go for miles, walking up and down the loops and everything else, and also the e-bikes. And one thing we've realized, the e-bike game here is very strong.
Well, it's an amazing place to have e-bikes.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we've explored every corner of this RV park on the e-bikes, riding around. We see a lot of golf carts around here as well. Normal bikes. Not as many people do walk as far as ride, just because everything is so spread out. But the size of this place makes for great, able to exercise, riding bikes, walking, things like that.
E-bike game is strong here, whereas in Port A I had said golf cart is. There are some golf carts, but the e-bike game it's all about it here, at least while we're here. I'm sure that changes up depending on what crowd comes in, but e-bikes everywhere, and it's a lot of fun to ride around here. There's some really, it's just, I don't know, we've ridden our e-bikes almost every night. And it's fun just exploring and seeing all the other areas, seeing all the other loops, seeing all the other RVs and the different sections. So like when you come back, if we ever come back here, we'll kind of have an idea, and we've already kind of picked and said, okay, if we come back here, we definitely like this newer section, but maybe 2 or 3 streets further that way. Another pro for me is it's pretty convenient. Like it's there's a lot of places around here. So if you wanted to do Disney, let's say, and you didn't want to pay for like Fort Wilderness, this is an ideal spot to stay. Because it's not overly pricey, and you could still be obviously in your rig and then go do the parks. I think there are like, what, 9? Well, actually there's SeaWorld, there's Legoland, there's Universal, there's all of it. And they're all within, what, 9 to 15 miles? Obviously, it's going to take you longer to get there because of traffic, but it's still so doable. So they make it very convenient. Your grocery stores, everything, your Walmarts, even your Rosses, they're very close. Very convenient. Highway 27 is the main drag that you pull off of right into here. And you go out and go left or right
4 or 5 miles in each direction, and anything and everything you can ask for. In the section that we're in, the new section, they are very spread out. You do not have anybody right next to you.
That is true. There's
enormous
lots of
spots and a lot of room in between each RV, and they're staggered. So like our spot is here, the one next to us is over here, but it's actually like staggered down.
You're not right next to your neighbor.
No, not at all.
Which is nice.
You can barely even see or hear your neighbor.
But that is not true in the older sections.
Correct.
You are very close to your neighbor in some of the spots, which is fine if that's worth it to you. That's why this whole world of RVing is, you know, everybody likes something different. That's kind of, I think, a big pro to this park too.
Yes.
Is what it offers. So you can potentially be on clean concrete, or you can be in the woods and do it however you want. So that's the beauty of this place, I think, because, and there's so much to explore here just on, I always say campus, but just on the campground.
Yeah. They do have propane here on property. You can fill your propane tanks on property. You cannot wash your RV. I guess technically you can, but you have to pay a $25 fee, a water fee. So, you know, that's something, if it's something that you really need to do, or if you're here longer. We're only here a week. If we were here 2 or 3 weeks, I might have thought about it, you know, just to give it a quick washing, because driving here, you know, the bugs were just horrendous. But only staying a week, you know, it was, to me, you know, it wasn't worth it, but you can do that. I guess another pro would be there are a lot of RV techs on property. When we're riding around and walking around, there are trucks and vans parked in RV spots. A lot of RVers that stay here are RV techs. So if you're in the need for an RV tech, it seems like you could probably get one.
Because they're in the annual spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of annual spots as you're going around. So there's a lot of techs and things like that. And I guess at the end of the day, a pro is Florida weather.
Yeah, for sure. But now everybody this past winter was saying how cold Florida was.
Yes.
So, you know, weather is weather. You're never going to be able to master that, and it changes at all times. So you have to be able to adjust. Is TTO worth the hype?
Is it worth the hype? You see it all the time. Everybody, TTO.
Everybody's destination to get here.
Yes.
TTO, I think it is worth the hype. But here is my deal. I don't know if I'd come here during the prime season. Because of the process of checking in, it would, I don't know, I'd be so stressed out about it. And I mean, I guess if you're willing to not have the spot that you want, part of me doesn't understand why they do it. And we've talked a lot about this while we've been here. Because to me, it's just funny. It's funny to walk by like in a position of ours and see a teardrop sit in it, in a spot like ours. To me, it's kind of a waste when you could, I don't know. So I don't understand the behind it, and I don't like that. I don't like that when we'd come in, we'd have to like figure out and like that urgency to get your spot and you know, first come, first serve. We didn't wait in a line. We didn't have to wait in a line of RVs out there. No. That would just stress me out. For all of you that do that, fantastic. A lot of you may comment and say it's not a big deal. So maybe it isn't a big deal. For me, it was great just coming in at 1:30 and doing our thing, and there were plenty of spots open, and it's the area that makes it beautiful. It's the surroundings that make it so. There's some really beautiful areas, and like even back in the other section where we didn't go, I love the quaint little houses, and to see people, their gardens, and all that they've done with that. And I love the spots where you can back up by the woods, and I just think it has its own. What's great about TTO is there's something for everyone. So,
absolutely.
And that's the thing, is if you're set on an area and you don't get it, how do you feel about TTO?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the difference too. Are you willing to take a different spot? So like people that love the woods, would they be willing to be in the concrete? Or people that love the concrete, are they willing to be over in the smaller sections of wood? But I do think it's beautiful. I love the e-bike. I love running around exploring it. I think it's been a very enjoyable stay.
For me, is it worth the hype? And again, kind of like Larica said, with the spot we got, absolutely 100%.
Yeah, Kevin loves our spot.
I love the spot. I love how wide it is. I like having a nice concrete pad, especially because I'm the one that does all the outside and hookups and everything else. And all the hoses, everything staying clean, as opposed to some places we go where you're in dirt, and then if it rains, it turns into mud. And so as far as...
It's funny that we say that,
Yeah.
that we like the concrete, because I also love being in the woods. Like, I
we
loved Devil's Den. And that was very rustic, and you were in dirt, and you just make it work. But I think sometimes it's fun to refresh.
Yes.
And like, so this has been a pretty clean week, and you've got all this open, wide spaces, and I don't know, it's easy.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. Yeah, so worth the hype? Absolutely. I am going to go along with Larica and say, if we had to do all the craziness and wait on Highway 27, or kind of like you hear the stories about, you have to circle, go up 2 miles, make a U-turn, come back down, sit in the parking lot of the Lowe's down the road where everybody says they hang out, and then at 2 minutes to 12 you jump back on, and then you're waiting in this long line of RVs, because we've heard that sometimes in the prime season the line of RVs can get 30, 40, 50 deep. The most we saw was about 15, and that's during the week here. So
yeah, just on a random day.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Oh, look, it's noon right now.
Yeah, they're starting to come in.
They're coming in now. But TTO is definitely worth the hype. Obviously, it's a place you gotta come. You gotta check it out.
Yeah, you should try it out.
We lucked out from enough videos of other RVers. I knew that we wanted to come into this section. So we came in and immediately hit this section, and we only kind of made one little loop around here and found the exact spot. Driving around the older sections, it's very tight, and I don't know if I would enjoy that. This is a 42-foot fifth wheel, so I don't know, but definitely worth the hype, definitely worth the price.
That's the other thing, you're going to see a ton of different RVs in here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and very large RVs. Like this park, really very large, and then a lot of small too, but really very large for at least the time we're here. Which, you know that they do a good job if you have this many large RVs here, and that the spaces are well maintained and suitable. So I think it's been a great week, and I really do like it. And again, we've never done it during the busy time, so that may be a whole nother thing. And I also, I guess for me, don't understand why it's that way.
Yeah.
Is it to prevent people from constantly booking the same spot all year long? I don't know. It's just how they do it, I suppose. The other thing is, we're not Thousand Trails people, so we don't have a membership, and so we don't have. This is our first Thousand Trails we've stayed in.
Yes.
We have nothing to compare it to. So I don't know if the big hype of TTO is also because the other properties are not as great as this one, or is it? I don't know.
That's the rumor I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, let us know. It is what it is. We have enjoyed Thousand Trails. There's, like I said, very few cons, and you can have cons anywhere you go. So
okay, so this is weird, not to interrupt you, but they're escorting an RV in right now. It just hit 12, and it's weird because they're actually, I can't turn the camera. Is it because
it's Friday? And
today's Thursday.
Oh, today is Thursday. I don't even know what day it is.
But it's May 2nd, so I don't know. But they're actually escorting an RV in right now.
Confused.
So I don't know.
Or
is he just following the golf cart? We don't know.
No, because there was another time I saw a golf cart too. So I am confused.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Oh wait, I think there's one behind him. Let's see if he's got an escort. I hear him.
We're just
no escort.
No escort.
So maybe some people ask for an escort.
True.
Maybe they say, "Hey, this is the spot I want."
I don't know where it is.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know. If you guys know, and honestly, I want to know how the winter process is, because is it, getting escorted, or do you just go? 2
different friends of mine messaged me before we got here, or right after we got here, and asked me, do they still escort you to your spots?
Like, no.
My one of my friends, actually Ron and Becky from Port St. Joe, he actually told me the procedure and said, okay, when you get there to the guard gate, you tell them where you want to go, and they tell you which spot you are, and they assign you a spot at the guard gate in the section you want to be in. That didn't happen.
No.
So I don't know.
We also came at 1:30, and there was no line. Like, so maybe they're just like, have free for all. Yeah. Maybe when it's boggled down and you've got massive lines of RVs, you are a little bit more of a system in play. I don't know. Interesting to know, and I would like to know, because if we do come back in the prime season, I want to know what we're doing. And maybe by then it'll change. There was also talk that may change that policy.
Yeah, I've seen other videos and heard rumors and stuff. People posting on different forums that they're considering going to an actual site reservation system by next winter. I don't know if it's true or not.
I guess we'll all find out together.
What do you think? Would you want it to be a reservation spot, or do you like the first come, first serve? Leave all that stuff down in the comments
Does it
and let
not
us know.
stress you out?
Yeah.
Maybe people are used to it.
All right, so our conclusion, worth the hype?
It's worth the hype.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
TTO.
And I can imagine it's even more worth the hype in the winter because I think
Yes.
there's a lot more to do and the
Right.
weather is a little bit more conducive. Except for this last winter. It was very cold.
And rainy, yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We love to hear your comments and interact with you. If you haven't already, please subscribe or consider subscribing to our channel. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
We are very blessed, and we know we're blessed
Yes.
growing our small channel, and we thank you guys for that.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet either, Instagram, Facebook as well, if you could follow us on that. We post pictures of different things that don't make it to the videos on there, and keep up with us there. So, you know, please follow us on all three, and we will see you guys in our next video.
Yeah, we are leaving Florida.
Yes.
So where are we going? And we've got some exciting stuff coming up, and we've got some big stuff going on in our lives, and we just, listen, we just show you, you're just along the journey for us. There's nothing...
We don't script anything.
We're not scripting anything because this, honestly, this whole channel started as a documentary for our kids and our family, and I don't want to cut things out. I don't want to put things in that don't need to be there. So we are just documenting our journeys and taking you along with us.
And we're so honored that so many of you guys follow us.
That you've chosen to follow us.
And chosen to follow our little journey. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Anyways.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.